Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back to a new video here on One Baba Salam. My name is Baba Salam. For those who know me, I have been active online for almost a decade, if not more, writing dawah stuff on gsalam.net and also making videos on Al Bushra by Gsalam and also teaching Qur'an stuff on tvq.academy. On tvq.academy, your borderless school of the Quran, I teach Quran. And from my humble experience of teaching Quran online, even before Zoom became something, when COVID-19 kicked in and everyone went indoors and have been conducting and attending online classes and what have you. Some people have taken their online presence very seriously, how they present themselves and how they are seen. All that, if you want to be seen professional, you have the options. But when it comes to Quran learning as a Quran teacher, I have observed that not everyone, not many, take their Quran presence or their Quran appearance online seriously. As far as my students are concerned, I have, some of them are kids, so I have communicated in a way that the parents can help their children to make themselves not only presentable, but also audible enough. Why is this important? Because when we learn the Quran, it is through verbal or the audio transmission. So verbal transmission, articulation needs to be clear. It needs to be heard clearly. That is the only way your teacher can approve your reading, or he will get to correct your reading as possible. Now, I am doing this in a living room where normally, there will be extra noises. It could be the fan. In my normal videos on tvk.academy or Al Bushra by Gsalam, I will make sure that I will record during the time when it is very quiet, mostly at night. And also, I will turn off everything that will bring in noise, including fans, ceiling fans especially. And if there is any car passing by or any neighbor making noise, I will make sure that the noise stops before I resume. But in this situation, in this particular demonstration, I'm not going to cut off anything, and I'm not going to stop if should there be any noise passing by. Aeroplanes may be flying by very shortly. All that, I'm not going to do anything about them, because if someone is attending a live class, these are their realities. However, we have the options of making ourselves not only presentable, but also audible enough. In Quran class, it is very important to make sure that your teacher can hear you clearly. What I have observed is that most of the time the teachers will have a very good or professional setup in a way that they can be heard and seen beautifully. But you as a teacher, you being heard clearly is not enough. The student may hear you clearly and he will have to repeat after you, but how are you able to make sure that you can hear the student clearly if you are not able to communicate that he needs to prepare himself to get whatever is needed in order for him to be heard clearly? For parents and children who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it easy for you to have internet, access to the internet, Wi-Fi, high-speed internet, to have access to technology, you can afford the device, and you have also access to anything that makes it comfortable to attend an online session like this. Then that missing element, we have no excuse to take it lightly, especially when it comes to audio and probably video in secondarily. So here, I'm going to demonstrate to you how your teacher or the teacher of your student hears your child. And I will be using the internal video of my laptop as the internal microphone of my laptop. And I will also be using a headphone mic of this. I will also be using a very cheap mic. This is Boya MC1 microphone. And I will also be using this for anyone who will want to go extra, who will want to go extra professional. This is Rode Pod mic microphone. Now, so with this, with regards to audio, and to video, I will be using the built-in video of my webcam, built-in webcam of my MacBook, as well as I will be using also external webcam. Over here is it's a small Canon thingy. So I'm recording this externally one day, and this which I'm using here for as the webcam into this MacBook, and also I'm recording internally on Zoom, so you will be able to hear clearly how your student will hear his teacher, or if you happen to be the student, how your teacher or you will be hearing your teacher. It is very important, as much as clear as you can hear your teacher, to make sure that your teacher can hear you as well. Why is this very important? In order to transmit the Quran as it's supposed to be. That is number one. Number two, to ensure that we give ourselves no excuse to benefit from the online interaction as much as we will also benefit if it happened to be in offline setup. All right. So now let's go into our Zoom recording. So here I'm having Zoom recording, and what you can see right now is basically my mic, my video connecting to Canon digital camera. This is V10, Canon V10 Cybershot V10. And the audio here is connected, or the microphone is connected to MacBook microphone. So this is the built-in MacBook microphone, but I'm going to first turn to the okay. So what you can see me now is the built-in video, or the built-in webcam of my MacBook. So in normal situation, this is how most students will appear. If you like this look, then this is how your teacher sees you most of the time. If you like what you can hear, then this is how most of the time your teacher will hear you. If you only use your your laptop or your phone for that matter, and you do not connect anything to any external device to it. Do you like it? Fine. You like it because so far the MacBook or the laptop is in good condition. So it is outputting decent image, because the lighting here, I'm using the lighting inside the living room. Of course, I also have an external light. This guy here, this is a small light. You may want to have this even if you are in an online class. Even if you are in an online class, you will want to have this. Let me turn this off, and you see the difference. Can you see the difference? Yes, there's definitely difference. So the more light, the better, but there must be some decent kind of lighting for you to be seen. So let me turn it back off. You can see it makes difference. Even though the webcam here, is outputting not good or decent image. So now I'm going to maintain this camera. And change the microphones. So the mic you are hearing me from right now is the built-in mic of the MacBook. And for the reference and the record, this is M2 MacBook Pro. Now, I'm connecting this. This is Apple external headphones. It can be anything as long as it works. So I'm connecting this in the 3.5 jack. Yeah. And I'm changing the microphone from my built-in mic into microphone, yeah, into external microphone. So external microphone, if you can hear me, let me try this here. Yeah. If you can hear me, this is the external microphone of the Apple external headphones. I believe this sounds better in comparison to the built-in mic of the laptop. The better your laptop, the better the mic will be. If the laptop is not functioning well, or the mic is broken, then you cannot expect to get this. So sometimes, because we can hear the other party clearly, we assume that he can hear us clearly, and it's not always that the teacher will go all out to be clear enough that, look, I cannot hear you clearly. So in Zoom, there are ways we can make sure that our system sounds good, clear enough before we can enter the classroom. And before I forget, the objective of making this video is not only for my students. My students, I've already settled with them. I go all out to make sure to be clear that you need to be seen clearly. If a student is making himself like this, I will make sure that I'm not talking to the ceiling. I'm talking to him. So the student should be able to should make himself clear or visible enough. If the student is a kid and not responding enough, I will communicate with the parent. That said, mashallah, most of the parents of my students, they are very responsible to make sure that they set a proper place for their kids before they start the class, or they enter the class. So now let's change this microphone into a very cheap external mic. This cheap external mic is this Boya. Let me push this back. This is Boya. Yeah, should be fine here. This is Boya. Did I change it first? Yes. This is Boya CM1 microphone. This mic here, this little guy you can see, is Boya CM1 microphone. For the record, I bought this. I don't need it, actually. I bought it to demonstrate that you don't have to go for an expensive, probably relatively expensive mic, which may last longer for sure, before you can be heard in a better sounding meeting. All right. So this is 85 ringgit. 85 ringgit, Malaysian ringgit, is today some 20 Singapore dollars. 20 Singapore dollars, and you get a decent audio for your son's or your child's online Quran class. The teacher may not deserve it, but the Quran deserves more than that. The teacher may not deserve it, but the Quran deserves more than that. So we are doing this because we want to preserve the sacredness of the Quran. We want to preserve the respect the Quran deserves, and we want to ensure that the transmission of the Quran is done in a better setting. So if you like what you can hear here, then you will want to invest some 20 Singapore dollars or 100 Malaysian ringgit, or even less, to get this, and it should be fine. Now, let's now change the microphone into the Rode Pod mic. Now you are hearing, or you are listening to me from this guy, the Rode Pod mic. This is a decent, the Rode Pod mic USB. There is Rode Pod mic, the older one, and this is the younger brother, or the newer brother, which is Rode Pod mic USB. Either one you get should be just fine, but get this because you can just connect to USB. You just connect this. You connect this straight to your computer. No audio interface is needed. Therefore, you need to get this. Rode Pod mic USB is what you need, and nothing else. You just connect this into your laptop. computer, and you are good, to go. So far, you have listened to me through four modes of mic connectivity or mic connection: the built-in mic of this laptop, the external headphones of this mic of these headphones, the Boya MC1 cheap mic, and also the Rode Pod mic USB external mic, of course. With all that, the picture remained the same. With all that, the picture remained the same. So now let's do the same thing and change the camera or the webcam. In this case, it is a webcam. So now you are listening to me on Rode Pod mic. You are listening to me on Rode Pod mic, this guy here, and I'm changing my webcam into the previously Canon digital, which is V10, PowerShot V10, and here you go. Here you go. This is an external mic. This is how an external mic may look. You can change the position of it wherever and however you want. You want it to be. You can put it in front of you right here, because I'm having an external camera outside there, which is recording the whole thing from here. You can put it here. You can put it anywhere of your choice, and you are good to go. So in my classroom, I use this. This is how my students hear me in my Qur'an classroom. And I use external webcam for them to see me clearly. This is not my classroom. This is a living room. My classroom is in a different corner of the house, where I used to shoot my Quran videos, which you have been seeing, the Simple LYQ videos, if you have been following. Now, let's change into the Boya CM1 mic, maintaining the same video or the same webcam. And here we go with Boya CM1. The picture is beautiful, but the quality of the audio has declined, has reduced, but it's still a decent one. It's still a decent one. With this video, you are hearing this from Boya mic. Now let's turn to this little guy here. This little guy is decent. This guy here is very decent. If you are using your phone in the Zoom class, this should be just more than fine. All right. It's definitely better than any built-in mic, unless it is broken, because the cables in there can be broken. The cables in there can be broken, and when it's broken, it can be very annoying, not only for your teacher, but for the other students in the class as well. All right, so we are changing into this guy, which is the external microphone. Now you are watching from the external video, external webcam, and you are hearing from the camera. The external mic of these headphones. So the closer I bring it, the louder it becomes. You can just leave it. It will be decent this way. All right. Now we are moving back to the MacBook Pro microphones. So now you are hearing from MacBook Pro microphones, not from this guy, but rather from the MacBook microphone. So if your MacBook mic is good, now, because where I am right now is very quiet, so the difference may not be too obvious, especially for anyone who is not using a headphone to listen to this video. If you're using a headphone, definitely the difference is too clean. The difference is too big and the difference is too obvious. But if you're using just your smartphone or your phone to listen, to watch, you may not hear of much difference. But when the person or you are in a noisy place, then your audience or your teacher or your other classmates will definitely hear the difference. All right. So now let's go back with this to the video of, and here you are. You see the difference? If you like what you see from your teacher, and I believe, and I want to assume that most teachers pay attention to how they prepare themselves, the video they present to their students, and the audio they present to their and the audio they present to their students. So this is basically for awareness purpose, and I hope that you find it useful, and I hope and pray that you find it beneficial. If there is any question related to this, please do leave it in the comment below, and together we want to make our Quran teachers feel that we are present in the class and we are ready for the class and we prepare for the class. Subhanallah, some of my adult students who have upgraded their microphones, some did not ask me. They just observe that the audio, the quality of the audio which comes from me in our classroom is totally better than what they are used to. So they started to do their own research, or they ask one another. So one after another, I see them upgrading, and the difference and the class becomes so lively. The class becomes so you feel good when you hear your course mate speaking through her, producing or outputting clean and professional sound, and it is not too expensive. In fact, it's not expensive at all. If one may be on a tight budget and may not go for this, they can definitely go for this. And believe me, this works fantastic. If you connect this to your smartphone, to your iPhone, or any phone for that matter, it works. Now, some students will prefer to go for wireless. Now, let's try wireless. We haven't tried wireless. I'm connecting this to this. You will have to put it on before it works. Let's go back into our Zoom and change this into yes. We are here, and change this. Allah. Now, this is the AirPods. This is AirPods. Is that AirPods they call it? Yeah, this Apple AirPods. It is wireless. I believe you are hearing me, but there sometimes, or most of the time, it has Bluetooth interference. Because it is Apple stuff, it works better than non-Apple stuff when connected to Apple. When you put this on, a student who puts this on, they can hear clearly what the teacher is saying. They can hear clearly what comes out from their phone, from their device, from their computer. But what the student fails to understand is that the teacher cannot hear them clear as they can hear the teacher. Now you may hear the difference. This is definitely picking up, but it is not that cheap in comparison to what many students will use in their Zooms to classes and online classes. So if this being good, and yet when it comes to Zoom meetings, it is not that clean, what more of others? So yes, you may say, but this is okay, this is decent. Number one, it is good already. And then number two, when you compare it to others, you see the difference. Now let's change from here into our pod mic. So here, let's change this into mic. How is it now? There must be difference. And I believe you will prefer to hear your teacher speaking from this than him speaking from this. Of course, when the student is in a situation where he has to use this, fine. But always go wired over wireless. Always go wired over wireless, because with wired, you avoid any Bluetooth interference or any connection or wireless interferences and what have you. So I hope this is helpful and is beneficial to many Quran learners, especially. These are my targeted audience as far as this is concerned. Subhanallah, when I see gamers invest so much money just to play game, and they will buy the most expensive stuff, microphones, headphones, webcams, just to play a game and waste their time. And when it comes to Qur'an, for those who can afford, and yet we see it is too expensive for Qur'an. We see it is too expensive for Qur'an. For someone who cannot afford, that is a different story altogether. All this being said, some parents have more than one child in who need to attend the Zoom class and online Qur'an class. If you have more than one child, please help your children to connect. Get for them each a headphone, separate headphone, because if they won't use their computer speakers, it will bounce and create echoes, and they cannot attend the class. So please help your children by obtaining separate headphones for each. Some parents, their concern may be, but I want to observe my child. I want to hear what my teacher says. My child's teacher says my child. Okay, number one, please, only enroll your child to a teacher you can trust. Only enroll your child to a teacher you can trust. If you cannot trust a teacher, do not send your child to the teacher. Don't play hide and seek or seek and hide with your Quran teacher or the Quran teacher of your child. Only send your child or enroll your child in a program which is conducted by a teacher whom you can trust, or who you trust, not only whom you can trust, who you trust. All right? That is number one. Number two, whether you trust the teacher or you trust the teacher, you should be able to join your child in the class. Joining your child in the class doesn't mean you sit beside your child. You can log into the same account with the teacher's permission, and the teacher should have no problem with that, and it should be fine. Parents of my students, guardians of my students join the class most of the time, but they join without name, without being identified by the kids. They will just put any hyphen or any symbol as their name, and I know that this is a parent of so and so, and then they're good to go. So please join if you want to, because for parents who join, wallahi, their children perform well. Because when they join, they take note of any remarks given to their children, and they help their children to improve on those, and they are good. All right, so it is not like, oh, I don't want to join, and then the teacher may not feel good or feel offended. No teacher should feel offended. This is online. And when a parent joins, the parent is also learning together with the child. So there's no harm at all whatsoever. Whatever is good in this video, it comes from Allah. Any mistake comes from me. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives me and forgives all those mistakes. If you have any questions, relevant questions, please put them in the comments below, and I will do my best to attend to them accordingly. Until our next video, I leave you in Allah's protection. See you in Jannah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
ودمع الأسى كل حين يزيد فقد قلت في الآي لا تقنطوا وإن تعف عني فذا يوم عيد وإن تعف عني فذا يوم عيد